All right, let's go ahead and practice fixing some of our structure types. So we're going to go to Tools and Touch Up Reading Order. We're going to make sure that structure types is checked because that's the one we're going to start with. We're going to go ahead and just look at paragraphs or texts and headings for right now. Normally you would just fix all of the structure types on your page, but for right now we're just going to look at specific types of structures. All right, so for this document here, we know that this is our article heading, and it has it listed as P, which is a text. So we're going to go ahead and click on the P to highlight it, and we're going to call that heading 1. And then over here we've got the author's name, which is probably not a bad thing for a paragraph, so we're good there. This, it's reading these as 4 separate paragraphs. That doesn't really need to be 4 separate paragraphs, but if we're not sure and we can't really tell because of the P's in the way, if you come over to your touch-up reading order, you uncheck the Show Page Content Groups box. Those will go away, and then you can read what's on the page. Reading it, I can tell this is really meant to be 1 paragraph, so I'm going to go ahead and check mark that and put it back. And then if I highlight all of that text, you'll see that you get the blue outlines around it. I'm going to come up here and just mark it as text. It makes it 1 paragraph. And then it looks like the rest of that stuff on this page is good. We'll come back to the figure later. And when we get down here, this doesn't really look like a paragraph to me. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this box and take a look. No, I think that's supposed to be a heading, and I think that's supposed to be a heading. So we know up here the only heading we've used so far is a level 1. So down here we're going to go ahead and do level 2. And this doesn't seem to be a nested heading within this one. It seems to be its own. So we're going to call it heading 2 as well. Now if I were wrong and that's not supposed to be, let's go ahead and check. If we thought that this was actually supposed to be nested within this one, we would highlight it and click heading 3. I think we're going to leave it as a 2. And then most of the rest of the text on this page is paragraph. Down here we've got California Management Review, the name of the journal that the article came from. We don't really want that to be read there because what's going to happen is this text will be read to them. Then they'll get this California Management Review right in the middle, and then they'll start with another paragraph again. It's not pertinent to the content, it's just going to get in the way, so we're going to highlight it and mark it as background. That way it'll get skipped by the screen reader. Down here again we have another paragraph that looks like it's supposed to be just 1 paragraph, but it's broken up. If we're not sure, we can remove it, take a look, like, oh yeah, that's supposed to be 1 paragraph. So let's go ahead and put it back, and we're going to highlight that whole paragraph. Make sure that we've gotten all of the letters in, and go ahead and hit text, and we're good. Again, we've got another heading. I don't think it's a nested heading. I think it's still level 2, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it as 2. This one again is a heading. It doesn't seem to be nested. It's still level 2. We're going to mark it as heading 2. Down here, I'm thinking this is background, but let's go ahead and take a look. Yep, that's just the date of the publication. So we're going to go ahead and highlight that one and mark it as background as well. Now these over here, the span down here and the body up here, these are bulleted text. So if the bulleted texts aren't correct, and we know from when we did the full accessibility checker before that it's telling us that these bulleted texts aren't correct. So what we can do, instead of trying to fix them as bulleted texts, we can highlight them and make them just regular text. So this is now a paragraph instead of reading as bulleted text. The thing is that you want to be careful to make sure that you get them in the correct order. So since this here is a new heading and sub-bullets, a new heading and sub-bullets, a new heading, new heading, new heading, we can't combine these into 1 paragraph. They're going to have to be separate ones. But that's only if they're broken. If they're not broken, we can go ahead and leave them. Let's go ahead and look at one more example for structure types with setting headings and text. Again, it's another document, we're going to hit touch up reading order. And then again, this is our title. So we're going to claim that one as heading 1. And then this is our subtitle. And since we only have a heading 1, we can go ahead and make that one heading 2. Now, the important thing I want to show you in this one is, so you'll see these. This is another example here, another example here. And if we remove and look, there's not actually anything there. So what happens is someone takes a Word document and they hit the Enter key instead of using the formatting functions within Word. And what happens is when that document gets converted to a PDF, we end up with these blank spaces here. These blank spaces are marked as text in the PDF, and that's going to cause the student using the screen reader to have to hit enter in order to make it down the page and to the next content area. It's annoying but not critical when it's 1 or 2, but let's go ahead and mark them as background anyway. So you highlight it, you mark it as background, and it goes away. And there's nothing there, there's no content. It just makes it easier to navigate the document. If we look further down, where it becomes a problem is when you've got a whole bunch in a row. So if you've got a whole bunch of nothing in a row, how's the student supposed to know this? The computer's telling them next, 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 but the document isn't ending and they're not getting any more content. So you want to get rid of all of those. You can highlight all of them and mark them all as background at once.